सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता चैप्टर 18 श्लोका 31। यया धर्ममधर्मं च कार्यं चाकार्यमेव च अयथावत् प्रजानाति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी। We have seen Satviki Buddhi in Shloka 30. A Satviki Buddhi is a Buddhi with clarity. The Buddhi is capable of understanding things with the clarity. Specifically, when it comes to spiritual pursuit, what is moksha? And what are the means for moksha, etc. Now, Rajasi Buddhi a person with the Rajasi Buddhi understands dharma and adharma up to certain extent, but he does not get clarity. There is some amount of vagueness. He understands dharma and adharma in a gross way, but he fails to understand the subtle aspects of dharma. For example, he may understand the significance of kamya karma. If I say you should do a ritual for getting material prosperity, he will understand the significance and he will perform a homa. But if I say you should do japa, you should follow the values, he will ask me why. I say it will give you chitta shuddhi, then you will get moksha. he will not understand. He doesn't understand the importance of nishkama karma. Because the buddhi, his rajasi buddhi, does not allow him to understand the subtle things. I am sitting with my friend, another Swami. I am telling a story. I am sitting with my friend, not here. Don't see there is a friend. Just I am imagining. Another Swami. Then a person comes with the Rajasi Buddhi. He asks my friend has a beard. He is a Swami with the beard and a good look, charismatic look. This Rajasi Buddhi get impressed. Oh, he must be a very highly realized, enlightened person. Then he asked this, my friend Swami, what do you do? And my friend Swami answers, I take care of 100 elephants. Then this Rajasi Buddhi is impressed further. Oh, you are doing such a great work. Marvelous work. Taking care of 100 elephants. And then he offers his support. I will offer support to your massive work. I will donate you one more elephant. Then after that, he sees me, another ordinary looking Swami is sitting nearby. He asks me, by the way, what do you do? How many elephants do you take care of? I say, I don't take care of any elephants. Do you take care of cows? I don't take care of any cows. Then what do you do? I just study Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and once in a while I teach Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads. Then he is not impressed. He just ignores me and continues talking to the other Swami, Dadiwala Swami. Just a joke, okay. So what I mean to say, it is easy to recognize something gross. It is difficult to understand the significance of certain subtle things, subtle forms of sadhanas, like studying the Shastra, Shravana, Manana, etc. So this Rajasi Buddhi, he understands things in a gross way. He understands dharma and adharma in a gross way. but he fails to see the subtle aspects of dharma, the subtle aspects of sadhana. Yaya dharmam adharmancha, dharma and adharma, ayathavat prajanati. Ayathavat means in a gross way, vaguely. His understanding is not altogether wrong, but it is gross. That is ayathavat. Ayathavat prajanati. He understands grossly. Dharma as well as adharma. Karyancha akaryamevacha. Even karya and akarya. Generally, there is no difference between dharma, adharma, and karya and akarya. The same thing can be called dharma or karya. They mean the same. But here, Krishna has used them in the same shloka. Therefore, there has to be some difference. If we don't make a difference in the meaning, karyam cha akaryameva cha will become redundant. To avoid the redundancy, we have to distinguish the meaning of dharma and adharma from karya and akarya. If you find this elsewhere, you don't have to distinguish. But only in this shloka, you have to distinguish. So, Madhusudana Saraswati says, Karyam akaryam refers to actions that give drishta phala. Actions that give visible results are called karyam and akaryam. And dharma and adharma refers to actions that give adrishta phala, invisible results, punya and papa. So dharma and adharma refers to actions that give punya and papa, whereas karya and akarya refer to actions that give visible results. For example, eating. What kind of food to eat? A Rajasika person might think he should eat tasty food, and sometimes he might eat tasty food at the cost of his health. So what is karya? Means what will give happiness in this life. Without considering the adrishta, without considering the shastra. What will make me happy in this life? This Rajasika person does not understand correctly. He thinks being stingy will make me happy. Hoarding wealth will make me happy. But what really gives happiness? It is not hoarding, it is giving. It is generosity. The more generous and contributing a person is, the more happier he is. It is true everywhere. Even in a family, the members of the family are happy when each one thinks what I can do for others, what I can give for others, what I can contribute, instead of asking what I will get from others. Even many marriages fail because even before getting married, they start expecting, what will I get from the other person? Will I get money? Will I get enjoyment? This attitude does not give happiness. The attitude of a consumer. It is a consumer's attitude. What I will get, what I can benefit. The attitude of a contributor. What I will give, what I will give to the family, what I will give to the country, what I will give to the friends, what I will give, what I can give to the society. This attitude and acting accordingly, that is what gives true happiness. So that is karya. But the Rajasika person generally fails to understand this. He keeps on expecting what I will get. Am I getting or not? Then all relations also get spoiled. They become just superficial. Because most often the expectations are not answered. So karyam akaryamevacha. What I should do and what I should not do to be happy even in this life. Ayathavat prajanati. He understands vaguely. Not that he doesn't understand at all, but in a vague and a gross way he understands. Buddhissa partha rajasi. This kind of a buddhi is a rajasi buddhi. A rajasi mind. Rajasika mind. Adharmam dharmamiti ya manyate tamasavrita sarvarthan viparitascha buddhissa partha tamasi. Now, tamasi mind, tamasi buddhi. Tamasavrata buddhi. It is a buddhi covered by tamas, full of tamoguna, full of ignorance. And because of that, adharmam dharmamiti manyate. He mistakes adharma for dharma. Adharma is understood as a dharma. Slitting throat is a dharma. Terrorism is a dharma. Shouting in the morning and disturbing others is a dharma. Adharmam dharmamiti manyate. It is tamasi buddhi. Tamasavrata buddhi. Ya adharmam dharmamiti manyate. Not just that, sarvarthan viparitascha manyate. He understands everything in a perverted way. He understands everything in a wrong way. If there is a well-wisher, he thinks this person is going to create some harm to me. So he suspects even his well-wisher. Sometimes he may be paranoid, suspects everyone, suspects the Shastra, suspects the Guru. Sarvarthan viparitan manyate. Sa buddhihi rajasi buddhi. That kind of a buddhi is a rajasi buddhi. Sorry, tamasi buddhi. Rajasi buddhi we have seen in the last shloka. So this is a rajasi buddhi. Sorry, tamasi buddhi. So thus Bhagavan talked about 3 types of buddhis. Now he is classifying another thing into 3. Dhritihi. Dhriti means determination. 3 types of determination. The first one is Sattviki. We will see. Dhrityaya dharayate manah pranendriya kriyaha yogena vyabhicharinya dhritis sa partha sattviki. Sattviki dhritihi. Dhriti, as we have seen earlier, means a determination. When you have started a work, there are difficulties. When there is a difficulty, people generally give up. Giving up is absence of determination, absence of dhriti. A person with the dhriti withstands the difficulties. and pursues what he has started without giving up. It requires a resolve, a determination. I will do it in spite of all difficulties. This kind of a mental quality is called dhriti. So the sattviki dhriti is the determination that is necessary in spiritual pursuit, in the pursuit of moksha. The spiritual pursuit, when I say spiritual pursuit, it means the pursuit of moksha. The word spiritual may be used in different sense by other people, but when we use it in Vedanta, spirituality or spiritual pursuit means the pursuit of moksha. So in spiritual pursuit, there will be so many difficulties. You have taken up a sadhana. When you have taken up a sadhana, most often our mind and senses try to take us astray. Because the mind and senses, manaha and indriyani, they are most often volatile in nature, impulsive in nature. And they take us away from spiritual pursuit. But then, to discipline them constantly, to keep them under discipline constantly, one requires great determination. If one fails to have determination, without a determination, one can easily get carried away, distracted from spiritual pursuit. That is why even in attending Bhagavad Gita classes, in the beginning we see many people. If I announce a new Gita session, many people might join in the beginning. But 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, there are distractions. To somebody, the mind says, why do you waste your time in Gita session? Why don't you watch a TV serial? The mind takes a person away. The mind gets drawn to TV serial. Then to discipline the mind, no, I will not watch a TV serial at the cost of Gita. It requires determination. Then some difficulties arise. Family problems, business problems, in spite of all the problems, I will listen to Gita session. I will not stop listening to Gita. You need determination. If you ask other people, your friends, why did you stop attending Gita session? I have this problem, I have that problem. So many other issues. They can be given as excuses. So yaya dhritya, by means of which dhriti, by means of which determination, manah pranendriya kriyaha dharayate. This dhriti has an adjective, avyabhicharinya. The dhriti which is unfailing, avyabhicharini, unshakable. It is not a temporary determination. It has to last for years together. It has to last lifelong. Because the spiritual pursuit is not a pursuit of 10 days or 20 days. It is a lifelong pursuit. Therefore, the dhriti for spiritual pursuit should be avyabhicharini, unshakable determination. No difficulty in life should be able to shake this determination. There will be health problems, there will be wealth problems, there will be so many problems. But the determination to stay and proceed in spiritual pursuit should not get shaken. Therefore, avyabhicharinya dhritya, manah pranendriya kriyaha yogena dharayate. Manah pranendriya kriyaha dharayate. Dharayate. He holds them in discipline. What? Manah pranendriya kriyaha. The activities of manas, prana and indriyas. Manaha kriyaha. The activities of the mind and the activities of the prana also. The prana kriya and indriya kriya, the activities of the senses, they are all held in discipline. The mind is not allowed to act as it likes. You have a mastery over your mind and you retain the mastery over your mind. It is not easy because the mind takes us for a ride. In chapter 6, Bhagavan has clearly said, Mano durnigraham chalam. Manas is durnigraha. It is very difficult to discipline the mind because it is chalam. It's always moving here and there. Chanchala. Therefore, to hold them in discipline requires great determination. And how to discipline them? Yogena. Yogena dharayate. They are held in discipline with the help of yoga. Yoga refers to all spiritual disciplines that we do. If you do japa, it is also yoga. If you do seva, it is also yoga. If you do shravana, it is also yoga. So yogena, by engaging oneself in these spiritual activities, by engaging in the sadhanas, making the mind and senses engage in the sadhana, you discipline them. So yogena dharayate sadhritihi satviki dhritihi. It is called satviki dhritihi. Yaya tu dharma kamarthan dhritya dharayate arjuna prasangena phalakankshi dhritis sa partha rajasi. Rajasi dhriti. Unlike Satviki dhriti, the Rajasi dhriti is the determination which brings success in material pursuit. Satviki dhriti brings success in spiritual pursuit. Rajasi dhriti brings success in material pursuit. Satviki dhriti brings success in the pursuit of moksha, whereas Rajasi dhriti brings success in other three purusharthas. Three purusharthas other than moksha, referring to dharma, artha and kama. So dharma, artha and kama, all these three have to go together according to the Shastra. There is no artha without dharma. It is okay to earn money, but in the process of earning money, one should not violate dharma. In keeping with the dharma, one should pursue artha. And in keeping with the dharma and artha, without violating dharma and artha, one should pursue kama. The material enjoyment. It is okay, as long as you are not very serious about moksha. You can pursue the other three purusharthas. The kama should not transgress dharma and artha. Dharma means the values, the injunctions of the Shastra. So dharma aviruddha kama is okay. Similarly, the kama should not forego the artha. Artha means wealth. One has to enjoy the life as much as one's financial condition allows. I cannot say I will borrow money and enjoy the life without repaying the money. That is transgressing artha for kama. So dharma, artha and kama. These three are pursued with rajasika dhriti. Prasangena phalakankshi. This person who has a rajasi dhriti, he is not very serious as far as moksha is concerned. He is interested in other purusharthas. Prasangena phalakankshi. He has karma sangha. Prasanga refers to karma sangha. He is attached to his work. He takes pride in what he is doing. He doesn't think of his actions as the work of Ishvara. Therefore, prasangena, phalakankshi. And whatever he does with desire for result. He is not doing it for chitta shuddhi. So, prasangena phalakankshi. Yaya dhritya. With which dhriti? With which determination? Dharma kamarthan dharayate. He pursues dharma, kama and artha. The other three purusharthas. Sadhratihi. Rajasi dhritihi. It is rajasi dhriti. Now, tamasi dhriti. Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam vishadam madameva cha navimunchati durmedhaha dhritissa partha tamasi. Tamasi dhriti. It is not a dhriti really speaking. In fact, it is a reluctance to change oneself. A reluctance to self-improvement. I don't want to improve myself. I don't want to be a better person. There are some people with such attitude. I know a gentleman. He is very philanthropic. And he told a village person, not a village person, he is in the city, but a poor man, I will educate your son. I will give scholarship. Let him go to school. So he is ready to give money, he is ready to give scholarship and educate the person, but the person is not ready to get educated. When asked to send to go to school, he escaped from school. This is a reluctance to self-improvement. Voluntarily, the person chooses to remain ignorant, lazy, dull, poor, etc. Not only he is not interested in spiritual upliftment, he is not even interested in material upliftment. That is why many people are not able to come out of certain bad habits. The smokers. You ask them to give up smoking. They are reluctant. They choose to remain smokers or drunkards. A reluctance to improve oneself. In chapter 6, Bhagavan has said, Uddhared atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet. Uplift yourself. Do not degrade yourself. One should make effort to improve oneself. If I am doing something wrong, I should try to improve myself. But most often we are even reluctant to accept our mistakes. We are reluctant to accept our ignorance. We are reluctant to accept our wrong notions. That is a greatest hurdle. This tamasi dhriti is the greatest hurdle in the pursuit of moksha. That is why many people, even if they are told, they are not ready to change. So yaya dhritya, because of which dhriti, swapnam bhayam shokam vishadam madameva na vimunchati. The person does not give up what? Swapnam, sleep. Swapna refers to sleep in this context. Bhayam, fear, insecurity. He is not ready to give up even insecurity. Shokam, sorrow. I can show you the way to get out of sorrow. The Bhagavad Gita shows the way to come out of sorrow. But the person doesn't want to listen to Bhagavad Gita. No, I will remain in samsara. Voluntary samsari. Vishadam, hopelessness. Madam, arrogance. Na vimunchati, he does not give up. Why he doesn't give up? Durmedhaha, because he is ignorant. He has a deluded mind. Durmedha, sadhritihi, tamasi dhritihi. It is called tamasi dhriti. Thus, 3 types of dhritis. Now, Krishna will talk about 3 types of sukha. Sattvika sukha, rajasa sukha and tamasa sukha. We will see next week. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति।